My community service activity presentation focuses on an activity as a part of a global community. During a study abroad trip, I participated in a program with African impact that involved going to community schools in Livingston, Zambia, and teaching a 4-session class about HIV and AIDS to 8th graders. This was very important because in Livingston, 1 in 4 people live with HIV and AIDS, and it's a very taboo subject there. And because of the stigma, people often aren't willing to share their status with their sexual partners or doctors where needle sharing might be an issue. So this leads to the spread of the virus. Along the lines of safe sex, abstinence-only education is the most prevalent sex education that's taught to people. So many people don't know much about safe sex. And this is important because HIV is a primarily sexually transmitted virus, but it can also be transmitted through blood, birth, and breast milk. HIV stands for human immunodeficiency virus, and this means that it targets white blood cells, making you immunodeficient. And once enough white blood cells have been destroyed, the infection is classified as AIDS, which stands for acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So this is basically where your white blood cell count is so low that your immune system can't protect you against really any infections or diseases, which makes people with AIDS very vulnerable to opportunistic infections like tuberculosis. They're called opportunistic because these infections take advantage of the weak immune systems and often lead to higher mortality rates in people with HIV and AIDS than healthy people. So this is a picture of me and my teammates at the first school we taught at. So during the program, there were 4 sessions. We started the first session with a pretest, basically to gauge the knowledge that these students already had about HIV and AIDS, and based on their pretest, many of them had not had much, if any, exposure to the topics of HIV and safe sex. So in each lesson, we covered a different topic. We talked about transmission, symptoms, testing, and prevention, and we tried to make each lecture interactive to hold their attention. We asked lots of questions, which they eventually warmed up to. We had them prepare their own presentations based off of the information we gave them, and during one of the lessons, we provided a condom demonstration, which was very fun for everyone. At the end of each session, we handed out papers so that the students would have an opportunity to anonymously ask questions that we could answer in the next class. And this was important because of the stigma surrounding HIV. Many of the students might not have been willing to ask these questions, but the paper allowed them to ask them in an anonymous way, and that way we could still answer their questions. This was a picture on the first day of our classes with our students. We had an all-boys class, which made the condom demonstration very eventful. They all got really excited. And in the end, we handed out a post-test on the last day, and all of them performed significantly better and had retained a majority of the information we taught them. Almost all of them could recite the 5 steps of putting on a condom. And anyone who had been to all 4 sessions received a certificate of completion that they were all very proud of. This is a picture of all of them with their certificates at the end. And the goal was to provide information that's not typically given to these students in the hopes that they would continue to spread this awareness and lower the stigma around HIV and AIDS. And I think that we succeeded in doing that.